right? Oh,
No.
there we go.
Hold on. Trick talking. You know what it is.
Yeah.
3-trick line. Here we go. What is a 3-trick line? 3-trick line is a digital contest that Twin Lakes CornFest put on, essentially trying to capture creativity, fun, all that good jazz out in the water. We've got a bunch to talk through, and we're just going to chop it up. Grant and I have been jazzed on all these awards over a group chat that we call Trick Talk. So we're just bringing the people Trick Talk right here, right now. Should we hop in, G?
Let's do it. Yeah. No, we've been sharing stuff like multiple years now, just shooting it back and forth. Here's what I recorded. What do you got for me? Challenging each other too. That's been the craziest part. And that's like definitely something that's cool with the 3-trick line, because it's like, all right, I can't do what I did last year. I got to learn something new and show it to the people. And, you know, the content's the coolest part, because it's like we are all scrolling through the media constantly. And whenever a water ski post comes up, that's when you stop and you're looking. So sharing stuff with you guys. And yeah, basically the past week has just been insane with like following the CornFest page, following, you know, all over Instagram, cool stuff. Seeing a lot of new stuff too. Like I watch 3-event stuff constantly. So seeing the shoe skis, the freestyle jumping, yeah, it's all rad.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's just kind of like you see some of the creativity that these lines were put down, and you're like, I didn't even know that was possible. Or like Kaylee Kohlers comes to mind, where it's like she took like 3 disciplines and like stitched them together in one line. It's like, what the hell? You did like a freestyle jump, picked up a swivel ski, and barefooted. So just huge shout out to everyone submit. I think there's over like 50 applicants, and we're gonna like share some of our favorites. But I think even like before sharing you know, our favorites, maybe we could kind of like talk through ours a little bit and kind of share a little bit about like what went into your line, my line, and just kind of describe it a little bit for the folks.
Well, this was like a very atypical set for me. Threw the vest on because I know that the CornFest crew love the life jacket. But basically, I'm going out there going as big as I possibly can, swimming for 30 minutes. So it's a good thing I had the life jacket on. But there were some things I was trying to throw that I had never done before. So in this set, I landed like 2 tricks that I had probably never even tried before that set. But anyways, the boat crew, Brandon, Ryan, and Grace, they told me, all right, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's throw the front flip first. And anyways, just knocked it out. Big old front flip. What do I got next? Well, I do this little wake to wake, back to back all the time. And I'm like, all right, let's get that one easy. What should I finish off with? Well, my biggest flip is the heel side. So launched that one up. The salute to the crowd is something that I've never practiced. Honestly, you show skiers, give me all these new ideas. Those never come up. It's just automatic reaction. What do I got to do? Oh, just pump the fist. I'm stoked. Wasn't even thinking in that point. I'm like, did I just stomp that like clean? Well, anyways, I was pretty stoked for that one. You won't see all the swimming that I did, but that's what happened during that like 40-minute trick set, which is just super fun. So
unreal. And the swimming of sorts, you like have to join the maybe even it'd be fun to like post some of those as short form videos or something in the past. The hand-to-hands that you were throwing for the audience, epic. New trick.
Oh yeah,
the back to front, amazing.
Same day I submit this, thank you, don't mean to interrupt, but same day I submit this, I made sure to throw a couple face plants on the story as well. So
oh yeah, for sure, the old behind the scenes. And I think something with this too, it's like to put a little bit of organization to it. In terms of the 3-trick line contest itself, we kind of have 4 categories that we're thinking of these lines in. So you have, the first is creativity. So how creative is your line? How outside the box is it? The second is going to be your execution. So it's like, how are you executing? Sorry, difficulty. Yeah, sorry, flow and then difficulty. So flow is like, okay, Grant, as we're watching it, like as he's not pausing, he's like linking these tricks pretty consecutively together. And then we have difficulty of the tricks themselves. So they, high, medium, low, more or less. The front flip is an incredibly difficult trick. And then the last, but certainly not least, and sometimes often forgotten, is the stoke authenticity. So like the fist bump counts at the end. And I was just like, that was a new one that I've seen. The kiss, like that was some fire. So going into, I'll talk through mine really quick as well. So definitely trying to, I think this is the year of like really trying to keep it simple on the trick ski for me. Series of inverts in the past, really trying to do next to none for the season. So I wanted to start out, I guess even beforehand, like thinking about the shot, like, all right, we're going out at sunset. The lighting is pretty good. I liked on yours, she was like pretty well lit. My sister Jenna was filming, and she's filmed a line or two in her day. So having that boat crew to help support, and just like, all right, I want it on this zoom, kind of like you give them the, like, we're rolling. And then just kind of go out, sit in right curl. I love doing these like little bunny hop back-to-backs. And then I was like, all right, well, what would happen if I just edged out the wrap 360? Tyler Lorenz has been super inspirational on like not doing the wake to wake 360s wrap, but also kind of throwing a grab in it. Didn't get the grab on this one, but was able to land that. And then these really, really big heel side, backside, wake to wake, hand to hands have been fun. And then the body slide for the showmanship, right? And then a little bit of like slashy swerve towards the end.
Really bunch of flow in this line, dude. Bunch of flow in this line. Yeah, and at the end too, just going massive on the last heel side 360. Like, I don't think when we go to CornFest itself, we see as enough of this like flat spins, these 360s and whatnot. So being able to throw that down on video is sick. And you got like, you're talking about the production factor too, right? Well, we already mentioned Kaylee, and like you're saying production as far as filming and lighting. When I see some of these things like Kaylee putting her ski out in the middle of the lake, or we'll get to them in the future, but multiple people behind the boat, or like where the ramp is when the boat's driving around, like that all goes into production, which makes like the filming of it very cool.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just some of the thought and that went into this. Like some people are setting up multiple jumps, and the whole 9 yards. So I get huge shout to everyone who put one down. I guess moving into like I said, we've got our top 5 that we're stoked to share. But beforehand, we just kind of, Grant and I have been like nerding out on over this all day. So we like have this huge spreadsheet, our averages, totals. But I guess before some of that, maybe we could touch on some of our honorable mentions or like our auxiliaries. Do you have a favorite song or not? Yeah, I guess favorite audio as we were talking to you.
Yeah, you called me out on that because you saw who I picked for best song. And, as a 3-eventer, I love speed, whether that's the boat going fast or the tricks going really fast. And Pete Hegarty just throws out this crazy fast, like stylish tricks, boats moving, and the audio, while there's no song behind it, you hear the nautique just absolutely blazing when he pulls into this around the boat, throws a TikTok, ramps the boat up again, and you think he's done, but no. Boat's now full speed going into the ramp, and he's just launching off of it with like so much style. So then the second he stomps this like crazy, it was a backflip to back where he just stalls out and lands backwards. Zoom in on the driver, just geeking at how well he did the line. So that was my favorite audio. No music involved, just the roar of the nautique, and that was a good time.
It was so funny having started this with like song in mind, because it's like, I don't know, the pairing between craft and audio, I think, is oftentimes forgotten. Like reels, you can pick any song more or less that you want to like pair it to, and you can like very much cue your tricks up with a song of sorts, which we'll get into mine. But a couple of comments, as soon as you did audio and kind of made that pivot, I was like, I went back and watched Pete's. I was like, I don't think Pete's had a song to it. And then it's like you said, the rev of the nautique, both around the boats. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
and
my
I think Yeah.
My brothers and I talk about it all the time. We're like, man, like everyone's putting music behind their jump videos, and it's like we just want to hear the boat roaring. So that was
Yep.
kind of my cue to them.
Yep. I dig that. And I think for mine, one thing that I, from looking at and reviewing all the lines, is like hearing, because you can mix audio now and just give like a little bit of the song and original audio. I think that sweet spot is going to be like have something in the dull moments where the audio, like your favorite song or something that pairs with the music is there, but also having that original audio high so you can kind of get the best of both worlds. Going into mine, I actually had your line for those, for watching as best audio. Dan Larson, DJ Dirty Dan, and myself, we go by like the music alias Fugazi, and Dan has got these like epic Simon Says like mashup remixes. So it's like a super intimate song. But the reason why yours I picked was one is because it had, I'm curious to hear and talk through this live, like a little bit of that beginning, which is not part of the original song. So you like somehow sampled it, but the one of your landing on this massive front flip paired with the one of the song. And I was just like, I have this visceral reaction of every time I see yours play. I'm just like, kind of like the bass face, like, ooh, just like so deep and so heavy. So that one was mine. But I'm curious, where did you find like the first half?
I mean, I when I scroll through Instagram reels, I'm not really watching the videos. I'm just trying to find fun audios. And those where it's like you're mixing a movie quote with a song or maybe some like cheering with some audio is my favorite. But like trick skiing is just such a, and now I'm biased again just talking about trick skiing, but like there's so much rhythm to it, especially when you're trying to do 20 seconds in 3-event water skiing. Like there's so much rhythm from one trick to the next, and it seems like you find that right song, and it's like every trick you do is just matching up with the beat. So yeah, that was kind of the one. I didn't have it in mind before, but I knew when I put one of my 5 that I was thinking about behind the video, I'm like, oh my goodness, that just fit perfect. So that's all. No real skill behind it. Just got lucky.
Oh, it was amazing. Well done. Who did you have for best production on your side when looking at all the lines?
All right. So now we did talk about some production value, right? And I definitely enjoyed the zoom, the close-ups, the good lighting. But you throw the Cole family behind the boat, 3 different boards they're riding on, 3 different lines, all ski in different ways, man. Like that's some production value right there. So I was going with the Coles on that one.
The Coles definitely had some solid production value, and just the coordination, right? That you had to have like all 3 tricks hitting at the same time. You saw not only the filmer, which what the video is caught, but you had like the camcorder footage going right before that. Very epic line. I had mine. We kind of mentioned it earlier, but Kaylee Kohler's production line of like your own personal jump, floating the swivel ski out in the middle of the lake. That you like. We were talking about it a little earlier. Like she would sometimes go and stick the jump, but the swivel ski would like get blown over by the wind, and she'd have to start the line over or something like that. So it's just like, I don't know, maybe she had probably so many that like went into it, and the thought and the creativity. So that had to be production on my side. Did you have a let's see, the next one, most creative line of sorts?
Oh man. I got a couple thoughts on creativity. First off, we got some crazy skiers in this throwing literal tricks that nobody else can do. So that's just creativity part number 1. And then I got George Bierski on here. Do you remember George Bierski's line? Was he juggling?
He was.
Was that it? Oh yeah. So the whole place went wild when they see him with a paddle stuck in his back, starts juggling, and then all of a sudden he whips out the paddle, starts riding it, flips a little drop ski off of that. Oh my goodness. Haven't met him, but guy's a baller.
Yep. Phenomenal creativity on that. He pulled that oar out like a freaking sword out of his back pocket about going to do battle. That was unreal. I had looking at my notes, I had George kind of as a nod. I had the Cole family as a nod with the creativity. I had Kaylee Kohler as my one, but I think giving some love to actually Molly Voska with
yeah.
the first ever non-water sports 3-trick line. I was like scrolling through and I'm like, oh my God, Molly just cut a 3-trick line. Not even, she was near the water.
With
she
the
wasn't on
puns,
the
with
water.
the everything. Oh yeah.
I thought that one was pretty creative.
Quite fitting.
Do you have any ideas for best flow? Like you were kind of talking earlier, like trick, of course, like 20 seconds. You got to be tight. You got to be in a rhythm, flowing things back together. Any thoughts for best flow?
Yeah. When you zoom up on Jake Abelson this tight, and he's just like spinning 720, then throwing a tail grab to get into position, to going right back into, getting into the position without even thinking about it and throwing, it's absolutely crazy. But then you also got Reed Miller, who's literally flowing through a slalom course, landing backwards, throwing the Olay, smiling the whole time. Like, there's no better vibes than watching Reed just throw some tricks around the slalom course. So that was pretty flowy for me. What about you?
Yeah. That's the both of those are really great. We talked about it earlier, but Pete Haggerty's flow of like I was just locked in that entire video experience of him like fist bumping, whipping around the boat, like wake to wake 180. The driver had to be like on it too, like whips another ATB, and like by the time his like setup like does a wake to wake, front to back, back to front, and is like at the freaking base of the jump, boat revs. And that was kind of like my one thing. I was like, he did kind of bobble a little bit, but it was paired with like the Nautique revving up for him to charge this ramp. And that I was just like blown away. Talk about the one where it's like the visceral experience watching it. It's like that video is like jaw dropping every time. So that flow is insane.
Dude, yeah, and definitely some good Stoke authenticity at the end there. You could tell he's been doing the show skiing for a while, throwing the fist, getting out there. It was good.
Oh yeah. Difficulty? Any thoughts on the most difficult line or difficult trick?
I mean, holy buckets, man. You got the front flip, like I said, my favorite trick in the world. Now all of a sudden people are throwing, okay, those are definitely the top. Shout out to Pete for the backflip, stalling out, landing backwards, one ski off of a ramp. That's crazy. Nick Bierski also throws like the biggest shoe ski backflip you've ever seen. You got to go find his. Just launches, just spray everywhere, and then all of a sudden, oh, dude, on these skis that are this big. That was so those two are wild for me as a 3-eventer. But then you got Joe Poland and Jake Abelson hopping into the game. Like, nah. Joel just like a top, wall flipping forward, and then Jake putting his body in these like crazy weird positions, starting out backwards. If you try this, if you guys are watching, go try to even take a jump starting backwards, doing a switch toe side jump. It's like the most awkward thing you can do. And then he front flips and lands backwards the opposite way. So those two, I'm going to try it, but I don't know if I'll ever get that close.
Oh yeah.
How about you?
I had Joel on there for one. I was like, yeah, like sometimes I was thinking about this a little bit. It's kind of like LeBron, or I imagine Jordan back when he was in the league, of like, year in and year out, he's like typically the best player of sorts. But Joel's like done so many like crazy, absurd things on the trick ski where it's like at times I kind of like took it for granted while watching. I was like, oh, he just did like, front flip mob 5. And I just like kind of shrugged because I was like, he probably could have worn a life jacket, and he probably could have
you realize no one's done that. It's like Dr. J, just like, I'm gonna go up for a layup here. Nope, we're going around.
Yeah,
like, wow,
precisely. So I mean, that was something where I was just like, how could you not give it to Joel? On that note. And then the last of the specialty awards before we get into our lines, most authentic / most stoke.
What you got?
So much fun. I'll hop in first. We talked to him about already, but yeah, Reed Miller starts his slalom pass with like the water hand drag, which is just super styly. Like he's in this, he's at Radar Lake, so it's like bright aqua blue water, like green colors. He's got like a really wholesome beat on the back, kind of like
Big old
everyday
smile.
people. Huge smile, and is just like cheesing in between every one of these buoys, and is just like sticking these tricks. He's hand dragging buoys, stomps this massive back row, and then shoots the fist bump up. I was like, I mean, one of my like highest regarded lines, but especially on the stoke factor, hands down.
Easy. No,
Yourself?
there were some fun ones, and you know, the smile when the skier was smiling, that's crazy because like me, I'm so locked in. I'm like sticking my tongue out, like blowing up my cheeks trying to handle it. But Reed's just cruising, man, all stoked up. I had Jack Ralph lands both ways, two ski backflip, two trick ski backflip up one way, two ski backflip reverse. The whole boat goes crazy. He's a little far out on video. I imagine he was pretty pumped too. And then you got the Shank siblings, Owen, Avery, and Easton. They must have fallen on that line a couple times because you could see it was all in sync. They got their last trick in, and then it was haywire. They were going crazy for getting that all dialed in. So that was a fun one too.
Just the wholesome nature of that last line, and just like you hear them like so stoked at the end, like high-fiving brother and sister, just like jumping back there. Very, very, very great line. I guess without further ado, the top 5. I mean, such a fun afternoon to start watching these lines and like going through them with fine tooth combs and like, oh, this one, that one. I'll pull up the screen. We can kind of like, if you want to share your first line, then I'll hop over to mine. We'll just kind of work our way up to numero uno. But for number 1,
so this was one of the craziest things to me. You guys you got to go watch all of these videos, but the shoe skiing that was going down was absolutely absurd. So Colin, little shout out back to George, but breaks out the juggling, then throws a massive front flip on shoe skis. So I bet you he's ripping like, what do you go, like 28, 30 miles an hour on here? So like I said, I like speed. Guy's cooking, stepping over the line, big old front flip. Like you can't get much better than that. Little production value from the shot behind as well. So yeah, dude, shout out Colin Scott. I hope to meet you sometime. You're a badass.
So Colin will be in the Waterbugs shoe ski line. So Grant, this year we're moving from the Super Ski Show to Super Ski Show demos to just kind of be able to like more organized, more structurally like plug in these different acts. So Colin will be in a 10-person shoe ski line. I don't know if we'll see exactly this, but I mean, just kind of like you said, the production value. There's a chase boat in the mix. He had to stash these juggling balls. He's like, I've been working on this trick all summer long. And to your point, like I don't know anybody doing this front flip off the wake that he's got cooking. So
huge. Land on their back or whatever. He's full rotation riding away. So easy. That's crazy.
And the stoke at the end, a 180 point to camera. That was an epic one. Let's see. My in fifth place. And again, it's just like amazing. It was like so hard. The top 10 were just like all within like points, tenths of points away from each other. But my 5th line is from Joe the Animal Swatska. So huge shout out to everybody who got up backwards. I felt like that was like a little micro trend that was going on in this year's line, like so many backwater, deep water starts to do it on jumpers. And to me, like the side slide that he throws in this like second trick with fins on it, like I just catching your edge like that. I mean, I don't know how he's able to do it so smoothly. And again, he's the only one that's doing this trick where it's like literally a circus 360 on the jump into a front flip, the twisted sister.
Oh,
Wild
dude, it's
line
so
change.
smooth. That side slide on jump skis is not something I'll be trying anytime soon. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's isn't Brandon doing that, or is he?
There's been some attempts in the Shipper family. I've only heard, but I've heard it's incredibly difficult. Shout out Joel Poland rocking by the Masters dock pavilion, just throwing it out, pumping up the crowd. That's a video you got to go find on YouTube somewhere. But
Oh yeah.
no,
Cool.
the side slide on jumpers is not as easy as it looks, as what Joe the Animal makes it look. Yeah.
Indeed. I mean, you mentioned Joel being able to do that. It's just, again, the things you take for granted that man is doing. I'm sure we'll see him in one of these next couple lines, but beforehand we have Air Jesus here.
Perfect pause. Dude, I didn't even notice the extension. He's all the way backwards with that.
He's like
hands
doing
as
like,
far away from the handle as possible.
like
Oh yeah. He's
like,
not doing a little catch and release there. He's showing up. It reminds you of like some Christ Air from Tony Hawk Pro Skater back in the day. Some video game stuff going down. Yeah, no. Adam Pikas, the flow, just the easy pop. First off, doing a no wake front flip, but like stomping it, not even landing on his butt. But this first trick, just going huge, throwing the tail grab in there, effortless. It's just effortless. It's buttery. That's my pick number 4.
Yeah, I mean, I was just enamored that he submitted and joined in on the fun. I kind of like loosely shot him a note earlier this year, like, hey, it'd be so cool if you did this, because he's just like, he's one of the 3 event trick skiers that you'll see him at the Masters, like stick his pass and he'll give like a huge fist bump and yell and smile. And it's like, I feel like a lot of 3 eventing could use some of that like flair and energy of sorts. And I mean, he's just kind of like one of the best to do it. So yeah, to your point, like grab, like so easy on that tail grab, like the style alone, creativity, like the difficulty of all these tricks too. Unreal from Adam.
You shouted out Tyler Lorenz as a potential duos partner in the comments of this post, or somebody did. But there you go. Yep, duos tag team right there. All I remember from CornFest 2019 was Tyler's no wake front flip, and we know he's got the seatbelt grab or the cannonball grab no handed. So I think that would be a pretty sick matchup right there.
You're hearing it first, Adam Peak. You're watching this. We want you and Tyler Lorenz to team up. Yeah, so cool that he put one down. Epic line. We talked about this one earlier. This one's worth watching a couple times over again. So right here we've got the Cole family, 3 tricks, 1 instance. Charlie on the wakeboard, Tom on the kneeboard, and Abigail in the middle. All
how close are they?
All area. Look at that. Holy smokes.
Oh man, I'm geeking over here right now, and I've already seen it 30 times. Tom just going absolutely huge, and Buddy going bigger. Yeah,
Buddy going bigger. I mean, are you like? Is that can't have been a first attempt, one and done? You know, like there had to have been some bloopers to this one. So, Tom, if you're watching, like,
post those. We want to see them.
Because I'm just like, I don't know. I get a little scared sometimes of this, like over and like all of a sudden you're cruising in the wake at like 27, 28 miles an hour and you're like mid-flight and you catch a rope to the neck. Like, holy smokes.
Oh yeah. I mean, Charlie's going absolutely massive, but Tom is literally doing that like little skinny gap between Abigail's rope and Charlie's rope. He's just dicing through there, also going massive. So I don't know, man. That was a jaw dropper right there.
Yeah. Is that I think that looks as your third line
that
as
was,
well.
That was top 3. That was start off to the podium right there. Shout out Tom.
Yeah.
Charlie and Abigail. You guys are crazy.
Goodness
Production
gracious.
value winners too, man. I bet you they got different size, different length ropes there, and
Yeah.
they got to have practiced this individually thousands of times before they were confident enough to go send it all together. I think Abigail's the bravest though. She's sitting underneath them both, hoping they don't let go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Abigail is holding it down with the one-hander rider, reaching up, just amazing line. So I think the third line on my side had to be, let's see, I'm even kind of surprised with which one oh gosh, I'm just such a fanboy for Tyler Lorenz. Like, we're gonna play the music because I think this
is definitely the most anticipated every year.
For sure. Multiple time TL CornFest Male MVP 2022 on the surfer.
Always bringing out a new,
freaking wakeboard.
Always bringing out a new board.
Speeds it up.
Shout out to people unstrapping their skis while skiing in this contest too. There were so many people just like Tyler just doing the bomb out there. So many people unstrapping and going barefoot, and when they're like halfway through their wakeboard line or something like that. Crazy.
Yep.
And the Dos Pistolas from Tyler to finish too. Look at that style.
Oh man. Yeah. And he cuts to the end, like just an amazing end-to-end line, like grinding the freaking backside of a canoe. Salutes to no one, which is just like, I mean, he's saluting on the old internet, but I mean, you got to practice those salutes. Great song, buttery conditions. Yeah, Tyler Lorenz, and so this is a little behind the scenes for folks. So this is only one of his backups. He was anticipating the contest to be extended another 2 weeks to go and film some trick ski jumping of sorts. So he's filmed months in advance, had this and another on the back burner, and was planning a third line just in case. Truly the show skier, or the water skier's water skier, in my opinion. But epic line from Tyler. What'd you have for I think this is going to number 2. This is top 2 lines from your side.
Final shout out to Dos Pistolas from Tyler as well. That was just classy right there. And then you got the big hitters. You got Joel, who we're talking about creativity from Tyler, who's just ripping out the scurfer landing flips. He's got the bucket hat on, very creative. But then you got someone doing something that nobody else is doing, and this just speaks for itself. Like, holy buckets. Spinning the opposite way with his backflip 180 there. Ending it off with some style. And like you say, the full wake back-to-back where you are holding onto the handle the whole time, pretty easy. But then you throw the handle pass in there, and the front flip 540, the sucker for front flips, absolutely insane.
Absolutely insane. Like, just fully mind melting. The front flip 540, just Joel is out of this world, literally. Mob front heel side mob, like, I don't know, such a stylish trick. Often you don't really see too many of them. Like, he does it for least creativity
and speed too. It's just crazy to see people spin that fast, flip that fast, just boom, boom, boom. Easy money.
I think on this one, it's just like, again, I just feel so spoiled watching Joel and like all of his videos of him going out on like a perfect morning, of him like splashing around and whatnot. The production value on this one, I was like, oh man, Joel, I could hardly, maybe it was intentional. Like, who knows, Joel, if you're watching, like, let us know if you're like trying to go for the Batman vibe, where like, all black silhouette. But yeah, just wild line from Joel. Going into my second, we've talked about this a time or two. He's taken some auxiliary awards home already, from our opinion. But this one's Reed Miller. So Reed is just put together this silky smooth line again. Like, once this loads at Radar Lake, just amazing conditions. Stoked to start it off.
Smack in the water.
Oh my gosh, smack in the water on a freaking gorgeous day. Stroked one ball right around two. This one is, I mean, he does it like it's nothing. I feel like that transition was pretty wild. Low leg, casually, gets the flat out of the
Automatic
ground.
bump. Automatic bump.
Slips
That's
over.
flow. That's style.
A hand drag, which is the most stylish thing you could do on a slalom ski. Sticks to toe side roll, massive fish bump, and a spray. I'm just like locked in the entire time. I'm feeling warm.
What's gonna happen
nice
next?
Day. Yeah, it just kept me on my toes the entire time. You had a good. You enjoyed reads as well, did you not? We were kind of talking about it earlier. Yeah.
No, the stoke is absolutely real. This is hitting all the points we talked about with the 3-trick line. This is the flow, getting through the slalom course. You know, the creativity and style with the Olay. Like the second you do the Olay, that's creative. People aren't just throwing Olays. And then, you know, difficulty with the having to do all that over the course of a slalom course is rad, and, you know, finishing off with the stoke. So smiling the whole time. It's good stuff.
Smiling the whole time. All right, G, take us home. Number one. Who do you got?
One of the young, no, not that we had a lot of young competitors, but the man who is like top of U.S. water skiing right now. You got Adam Picos already in here as well, but Jake Abelson's doing it all over the place. He basically, I saw this, you know, steezy 720 speed again, hitting a point, and now front flips. Where's that coming from? Well, starting off the front flip in a crazy position, finishing the front flip in a crazy position, styling through the tricks, good flow. He had a funny song here. He says he's rednecker than you, which is like, that's a pretty good one, Jake, throwing that out there. But that front flip back to back is just like the full video. You see him all lit up, and it's like, dang, he's in this position that I never imagined being in before, and stomps it.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Like,
Hopping from one trick to the next.
Oh yeah, he just
Absolutely
like floats
crazy.
that front flip back to back, just like out of like he's just like sizing up the landing the entire time. Absolute stick.
Oh yeah,
Contorting
his body.
No one's doing front seven. That little like into out tail grab could have been counted as a trick, in my opinion, given how like stylish he put it down. He's just setting up. Like he's like, all right, I'm gonna just get to my next trick here.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, like switch mode 5. Oh god.
But yeah, just the final trick, front flip back to back, contorting his body and just going huge on it. So
yeah.
big fan. What you got? Who's the champion?
Who's the champ? I think at CornFest we're summed to be breaking all the rules. So champion singular does not hold. I had 2 first place winners. Well, we talked about one. I think this one is we'll play this one first. This one wasn't mentioned yet, but this one got a lot of love in the show ski community. It got a lot of love. I think in broader towards water sports. I think we're sitting at like almost like a collective 300,000 views across Facebook, Instagram on this one. And this one came from Hunter Hansen. So Hunter Hansen's going to be the feet on fire driver at CornFest this year. Starts out on a disc, Olay 720. And you're like, what? Why is he in a wetsuit? Oh, because he's going to back flyer off the disc. And it's not the greatest conditions right now. Like he's battling like a little bit of wind chop. So it's like on the whip, no problem, big back to front. And he's just cruising, hits another one at the end for bonus points. It's just kind of like, I don't know where this line started and where it ended in terms of like, you know, expectations of what you're going to get. Just night and day. I thought this was going to be a casual, slow disc run, and Hunter turned it from 0 to 100 in a matter of moments. Creativity, being able to bridge the disc and back barefooted. I never would have thought I would have said those two like in the same sentence. Difficulty of this trick's like a front to back, a back to front on the whip is no joke. And he just like so casually and effortlessly on the flow perspective, just like, oh, casual hops off.
Casual. That was a full send. He was like, we're doing this right here. Launched off the disc, belly flops, like, and back barefooting is just so foreign to me. So this is an awesome video. I saw how viral it went. It's just like, this is it. This is what the contest is all about. The back start though is insane. Just launches off the board. You say casually? No, he was sending it. He was going full send.
I guess I meant like he made it look. He definitely full sends. Yeah, you're right. I think it was just kind of like, oh, of course. Like I'm gonna just hop off, and like he made it look effortless. Was probably.
I love this video. Yeah, absolutely.
Great video. And then we talked about this one a couple times, so I need to like pause, put my seatbelt on, and get ready for this one, because this one won best audio, I believe, in your world, but it is truly just a mind melter of a line. Pete Haggerty, I think he took best trick in last year's run with the shoe ski line, Daffy Disco. Just an amazing all around line. And then he comes back in year number 3. Just grabbing that phone charger or computer charger. And it's just like full sending this video, starting things off. Braun ATV, huge stoke, and just is like, oh, I'm gonna just wake to wake.
Easy little TikTok. Yeah.
Easily, which is not an easy trick. Like,
you gotta commit.
ATV.
This is full speed, full commit.
Oh yeah, and we'll play it again with the audio on. But like wake to wake, like, and it's just bobbling. The nautique revs up, and he sticks this freaking, discombobulator jump, flipped it back, showmanship throughout. Let's hear what this sounds like on the freaking nautique.
Oh yeah, this is full speed right here. I can't imagine being backwards, getting whipped around like that. Like
cameras going everywhere, but it's like all still in frame. Slow bit of connect, slight bobble, not too speed up.
Ooh. Just hearing the boat roar when he's going into that jump, something good's about to happen. And that was just style. You got to keep watching because he throws the fist. That's a great pick.
Yeah. All in all, amazing lines through and through. Any
man.
Honorable mentions of sorts, or just like moments from the contest that we didn't
shout out to back deep water ups. I think I might have had a couple others written down, but back deep water ups and shoe skis, man, that was what I really enjoyed seeing from the fest, the contest for sure.
Oh yeah, that's the back deep ups were definitely a hit. And I mean, that, I think you mentioned it earlier, that gainer off the jump shoe skiing, just stick city. Lots of innovation through and through. Thanks to everyone who submitted a line. Much love. Hopefully y'all had as much fun watching as Grant and I did. And yeah, we'll see y'all at the fest.
Good chat, man.
You. Let's see. Turn this off. Manage screen recording. And